What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Joy of Animating. Here with your host and friend Skip Marazzi, working on a behind-the-scenes podcast for Cox in Space. On this episode, we are going to be working on the final shot of the second clip of the show. So I hope that you're excited and talking about the things we do on the show, both mental health and creative philosophy. Um, Two things that I have a lot of thoughts on, and am in no way an expert in any way on. Um, but I have experiences doing these things, and so I am here to share with you the experience that I have. Uh, as a person who works for to maintain mental health and has worked through steps and processes in order to do that, and has worked creatively for a bunch of years, 20 something years. I have thoughts to share with you, so take with it what you will. You're welcome to agree or disagree in the comments below if you would like to, or add your own 2 cents to the conversation, which is fine and perfect, more than acceptable. If you'd like to join the discussion actively, you could always go to coxinspace.com and click on the Discord link on the bottom and join our Discord. And you'll be able to live chat with us on the show. You're always welcome to do that. As well as um, while you're up there, you could also, if you would like to help us out in the for the running of the show, you can go to the join the crew link on the bottom. Go to our Patreon and support us as a monthly subscriber. Make a donation there. You can opt in for as many months as you would like, and help us out that way. We would very much appreciate that, as it will keep the show going. That would help us fund the continued making of the show in the long run, as in get more art to be drawn, and then also make it possible to begin continue animating the show. So thank you so much for your contribution so far, and thank you so much for being with us right here and right now, wherever you're at. So. I took a couple of days off because I was working on the sound for this. Let me play for you what we've got here, so you can see it. And this comes directly after that previous shot on the beach. It looks like this. You probably can't hear that because it's not coming through the headphones. Let me set that up here. That's correct. I'm using Skull Candy's Crusher Evo headphones. Wow, there is certainly a lot going on in this shot, and it's very unhappy. I'm trying to show that to you. It was fine when it's coming from another source, but it's definitely not wanting to do that here. Let's see if we render it. If it's ready to do it that way. May or may not. So that's okay. There's a lot going on and going through the system right now. It should be able to handle it. I'm not sure what the hang up is. There's a lot going on in this shot. I am pretty happy with it. There's 2 lines I need to fix. One of them's Peter's line, which I'll do as soon as I get Richard's line in, because we refer to the cat as he both times. Ooh, and I need to fix this cloud right here apparently too, because that's a bad trailing shot right there. But yeah, we originally envisioned it as a he, and then Jack decided to only draw female cats on the beach when he drew him, and it was fine for the shot that we had. But obviously doesn't help in this one. We'll have to change the dialogue for that. We are getting to the conclusion of this portion of the project, as we're we're almost out of pages to draw. The shot with Luna, and her big number, which we're going to continue working on today, will be the final shot for this clip, and then from that point forward, we don't have enough to do the next portion of clips, next portion of shots. We don't have enough art drawn at this point, so that's when we're looking to do the pitch, so that people can at least see what the animation style is, what we're going for with it, what it sounds like, what the music sounds like, and so. We are hoping to see feedback at that time of what we're going to do with it. So we appreciate. Keep your eyes open for that. We are looking at probably 2 to 3 more weeks of getting it done. So it'll be done by the end of July, beginning of August, and we'll be doing a big YouTube push at that time. So if you see it, comment, like, subscribe, share. That would help us out a lot. Just getting in front of the persons or people who see the potential in the Cox in Space show, and want to support it. So, if you're sticking around and seeing it, you'll see, what it is that we do around here. We are a positive message. We have a positive message on our show of spreading happiness across the universe, and we've wrapped it in layers and layers of innuendo for the fun's sake. So we have a lot of great episodes written already. Episode 2 is the bitch's booty, which is about the dog pirates trying to get the queen. No, that's definitely not going to work. So, let me switch it back over real quick to that other audio setting, because it looked like it was running that way, and perhaps you can hear it that way. It's going to come through the speakers, so it'll be the same as my voice. I'll lean it real close.
I'm gonna hit him with multiple O's!
I don't think he would survive that.
There you go. So that's the clip as we've got it, 27 seconds or so. I'm going to fix the line. I'm going to have him speak at that time to the shape of the line. And then that'll be it. That'll be a wrap for that shot. So hopefully you're able to hear that. I'll just put the X on that for right now, and we'll come back to that. So as we get that line from Aaron Cosbeil, one of the voice actors and co-writers of the show, so that we can have it finished that way. So I'm expecting that here in the next couple of days. So after the Bitch's Booty, which is the second episode, the third episode is called The Tit Quartet, and it is about babysitting some little birds, and it's a musical episode, which we're all looking forward to seeing the fullness of that episode. And then the fourth episode is called The Boobies, and it's about ghost bees that are haunting the ship, the Pecker. So those are all written, and we are working on the fifth episode right now. We are about halfway through writing that episode. We're going to continue to get together this week and push forward with that. It should be finished probably about the same time this show is about. This clip is about ready to air. So we're looking at probably July or August that it is ready to air. Everybody say hi to Cutie, who doesn't want to be on camera, but she wants a lot of attention. Yeah, for some reason right now. She doesn't like it when I sit over here and work. Because, dang it, let me do that. I'm not paying attention to her. Yeah, as I should be. Uh, so yeah, that's the fifth episode's Farm Point. It's where the Cox meet God, and they realize that their mission is a little bit more complex than they thought it was. They may have made a series of mistakes, which have led to a number of problems throughout the universe. That one, I am looking forward to. It's turning out to be very interesting. Um, because it's a little bit more complex as far as the thought process with what's happening on the show. It is the turning point of the first season, um, as far as the story circle is concerned, it's the furthest point away from where we started, and so I feel like it's doing that very nicely. It's doing a lot of callbacks for one. And then also it's doing a lot of things that kind of put the whole thing into a new light. So um, that's pretty exciting. Also, it's full of surprises for us, as usual. Using that story calculator always takes us into interesting and unusual territories. So, geez, this is going to be a lot more difficult patching in than I thought. Okay. Well, we know that leg goes there. Thereabouts. I will be, when we moving forward, because just working with this process and what we're doing, I will be working closer with the illustrator in order to make sure that each of these independent layers are made so I don't have to patch on this stuff quite so much. I mean, there might be some that still needs to be done to make this style happen, but just that there would be, say, like his butt right here, because I'm not sure. I have to recreate his butt somehow. I'm not sure how that's gonna happen. Did something really interesting today. It's been a busy holiday weekend, and because of that, we were just running a lot of food and whatnot because I work in a restaurant, and one of the things that the place is very overwhelming for my brain, just because there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of noise, a lot of people, a lot of movement, a lot of new information coming in all the time, and so it can be really overwhelming. And so what I decided to do today, because I've been practicing, because I've been coming back and decompressing, meditating to decompress, and then I was thinking about it, and just like how like meditation doesn't have to be a passive thing, that it can be an active practice as well. And meditation at its very essence is really like just turning your focus to something, and taking control of the mind, instead of letting it be controlled by all your outside circumstances and stuff. I think that's a good way to describe it. If you guys practice, if you guys have a practice, and would like to share some thoughts about that I would be interested in hearing that. This brush tool is not working the way that it's supposed to be. No, that is there. I feel like Cutie stepped on the keyboard, and now it's not. It's not giving me the full thing that it's supposed to be. Like, it's not coming through all the way somehow. Hardness, yep. Okay. That should be the case. See how it's doing it like opaque? That's odd. It's not a hardness issue though. I know there's a way to do what it's doing. And maybe it's not an opacity issue either because I'm not doing a new layer. There it is right there. Yeah, she did. So anyway, what I decided to do was, because I've been telling you, there's a person who is just has been just racking me, just where it's just being around them and being like, what are you even doing, guy? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to get my work done, and like these shenanigans, it's just stressful, like how to deal with this person's personality, while I'm trying to get work done, right? Um, and for one, not feeling like that's fair that I have to do that, but at the same time it's not like I have any control over that. So there's lots of circumstances where that's the case. Like, you're going to be in circumstances where you have no control over how other people are responding around you. So it's not like you can be like, you're triggering me or whatever. You need to stop because you have no control over other people. You only have control over yourself. And so what I decided to do is I was going to just go and just actively meditate while I was at work. And so the thing that happened was I went to this place where because one of the things I realized is I really like the color of the sky, like the clouds in the sky, and how they're pretty. Like, especially in the morning, you'll get like pinks and blues. And so as I was driving to work, I just started thinking about nothing but just the pinks and the blues, right? And this is a pretty, I have a little bit of an advantage over most people who decide to start meditating, I believe, because, I've been on stage as an improviser, and I've performed as an actor for quite a bit of time. And a lot of what that is shutting out the rest of everything else that's around you and just believing the reality that you guys have collectively decided is true, right? And it's especially key in improv because it happens so quickly, right? You cannot for a second let the reality drop from your mind, and you have to continue to maintain it regardless of whatever surprises you get, right? So if you say you're a man with a hook hand or whatever, I'm not sure why that was the example, but you have to maintain that hook hand regardless of whatever the scenario becomes. Like, maybe you're a pirate, or maybe you're a guy in an office with a hook hand, or whatever. And so you can't let that up. So you have to continue to hold on to this thought process while doing everything else. And so that's what I did. I was just thinking about the pink and blue skies and how much I just like the skies, and just envisioning the pink and blue skies and continuing to think about that, and just continued to think about that all day long. And then it sort of morphed because it was an 8-hour shift, right? Where it was like not just the pink and blue skies, because that was, like after a while I was like, okay, like that's kind of hit its thing. And like, well, it was like pleasurable to think about that. And that was like where it took the, first of all, it made me feel really much better. Like I felt like alive, and I felt like, like a part of the world. Like I felt like very capable, because I was just, like my mood was not being altered by anything, because it was like, how could it be when I'm thinking about the pink and blue skies, and how pretty the sky is, in the morning time when it's like that. And then I continued to evolve, because as the day progressed, I was like, yeah, but I don't just like the pink and blue skies. I like the blue and white skies too. And so I started thinking about, the clouds in the sky when they're blue and white, and like just the different types of clouds that there are. Like there's this long, thin ones, and there's this big, fluffy ones, and there's ones that are so big, right, that you can't even fathom the size of these clouds, because they're just like huge. And that kind of had me thinking too, like just the ginormity of like the earth itself and the universe. And so, while everything was happening around me, like I wasn't letting it affect my mood. I was just doing the things that were necessary, because I was just holding the back of my brain, sort of, as the key thought. So not letting any other thoughts invade, not letting any other thoughts take over, but just thinking of those clouds, the size of them, the bigness of them. And then at one point that became too much too, because there's so much going on, to like be thinking of just even the words like pink and blue or blue and white. And then I just started thinking about the color blue and just like just envisioning that blue of the sky and how like it's not one color blue, it's like huge, how like it goes from like that really subtle, like baby blue to that deep, deep, like cyan, like ocean color, and like just that deep blue, and how like that was a big gradient, and like no, depending on where you look at it and the time of day and everything like that, how that blue gradient was always there, and so it was really great. Like my mood was, I felt fantastic the entire time. I could feel myself smiling, although probably with the way that my face is, it doesn't respond all the time to what I'm feeling, or it doesn't respond well. I know that my expression is real hard to read for a lot of people because generally there's just like, there's a lot going on inside. And but like that was the thing. Like I was just, and then so I was just, it was almost like being psychic. It felt like I was just being in the right place at the right time when I needed to do the thing that needed to be done. I helped out however I could, and nothing was overwhelming me at all. Again, it was like this idea that no matter what happens on the outside, in my outside circumstance, that I was completely in control of what was happening on the inside. So nothing that was happening was moving me around or changing my mood. Like I was taking responsibility for my own mood and attitude, because I was just directing my thoughts towards something that was going to continue to make me happy. And so the blue and white sky and the color of the sky, and then the thoughts of the clouds, like even at one point I got to go outside because we have an indoor and outdoor area, and I got to actually see like the clouds, right? And I just got to like look. I was just like, what a pleasant surprise it was, and what a like a joy it was to actually like be, to like see the thing that I was like desiring to see, right? Like this absolute like joy of existence is, because that's one of the things, that was the thing about it, right? Like the thing that was bringing up is like the reason that I love seeing the clouds is because seeing the clouds means that you're outside. And generally you see the clouds when you've taken a long hike and you get up to some vista or whatever, and then like all you can see is just this blue sky all around you, and these clouds that are gently moving, and they're not worried about anything, and they're just doing their thing. They're not concerned about where that dust is going to make them start to precipitate, and they're just formed by the heat of the earth that makes them rise up, and they have the freedom to float and to move, and it was just beautiful. And so one of the things was at the end of the shift, I wasn't nearly as mentally exhausted because it wasn't a million things that I was thinking about, right? There wasn't all this like mental activity that had occurred. It was really just one continuous thought that I'd had all day, that was sort of connected, and that was just that these clouds existed, and just the sky had existed. And it just, yeah, it made me feel like really just great, right? That to have been able to focus. And so yeah, again, at the end of the day, I was just like, smile on my face, or at least in my heart, of the things that that I was able to have control over one small corner of my universe, and that was the internal part, that I was responsible for. And so again, that maybe, I don't know, I don't know how it worked out for my coworkers. I don't, like, because I wasn't necessarily attached to the circumstances that were happening, and I know that they were stressed out about it, and they kept, they were dealing with, all this stuff, but I was able to, for them, just to encourage them to continue on, that like nothing that happened was any sort of big deal at all. That it wasn't, nothing was upsetting me, and so I wasn't adding to the chaos. I was just adrift in all the stuff that was happening around me, because again, it was there was nothing happening inside my head that was spilling out onto anybody else. It was simply me taking responsibility for my own thoughts. And then I began to think later, like how it's like necessary for people who are more intelligent, and this is a very low bar. I'm not saying that mega intelligence is required for this. Oh, geez, that looks like garbage. Well, hopefully the cat's head will mostly cover that up. Um, but like anyone who's thinking like a lot of internal thoughts, and that this is basically when the intelligence rises to such a level that you begin to have those thoughts on a regular basis. And in one, this is more common in women than it is in men, I believe, who will have multiple thoughts happening simultaneously. But I just feel like, and also in higher intelligent men and women, uh, that it's the responsibility of the person who's having all those thoughts to maintain their mental health, in that sort of way. Because like, and this is the point that I was getting at, like initially was that I can't make the people around me stop doing what they're doing because I'm triggered by it, you know what I mean? Or that it's making me feel some type of way. It's not their responsibility to do that, it's mine. And so, if you're the type of person who's having a lot of thoughts, then my argument for you is that it's your responsibility to be putting yourself constantly in a state where you're doing this too, and I'm going to be doing it more too. I'm going to be trying to do that as often as possible. When I am with people or in that sort of place where those things are happening, is putting myself in this place where it's a constant meditation, where I'm directing my thoughts towards something that makes me happy and that is bringing me joy, because that's my responsibility and my responsibility alone to do that. Um, and so that's the case. Like, and it made a huge difference in today. Today was, again, it was a busy holiday weekend, and there was a lot going on. It was probably busier than the holiday was yesterday, but it was like only up there with like one of the second busiest days, because the day previous was also, I'm losing track of the days. I think it was Friday, which was equally busy, if not busier than Friday. But that was the case. But yeah, so I mean, and we're all in stressful situations, right? Like we're all dealing with people or dealing with ourselves. And so again, I would just argue and encourage, with that. It's an encouraging sort of argument. It's not to be argumentative, but like that. If you're having a bunch of thoughts and they're distressing you, that's no one's responsibility but yours. And this did seem to help a lot. It was one thing that I took a step, to like just actively put myself in a place where I was putting myself in a place where I was experiencing joy, and because of that, I got to experience joy. And so it was like a huge relief, and I think probably too, for all the people who are around me too, because I was getting responses from them that were different than normal too, in that they seemed like less perturbed that I was around. They seemed less anxious. That I was like, analyzing them or whatever, because that's what happens a lot when like I'm just like keyed up, is when I'm like, I'm just looking at everything. I think people feel like I'm judging them at that time, when I'm just in a place where I'm looking and seeing everything, in order to like try to find the issue, before it breaks. And so I was still able to help out in all the ways that I normally do, but I wasn't worried about them at any point. I wasn't in a place of like anxiety. And you know how humans are, right? Like, humans are just animals, and animals, especially attuned animals, a lot of women are like this, but they have the ability to pick up on like the subtle emotions, the ones that you aren't like saying, or that you may not even be aware that you're feeling. And I think they're most times more attuned than men are. That's a generality, but yeah, I have found that to be true for the most part. And so, because I wasn't stressed, I think that I was making them feel less stressed. So I thought that was really great, just to help out my team in that way. because I'm not trying to stress them out, just because I'm trying to, get the job done right. And so again, it's my responsibility, right? Like I'm the one with all the thoughts. I'm the one with the, all the things that are upsetting me. So it was on me to do that. And so I would say, if you're the type of person who does think a lot of thoughts, that could be a solution for you as well. And it was really, really effective. Like I said, the 8 hours passed really, really quickly, even though there was so much happening. And there was just so much to do, but it wasn't like it was, anything different. I was just, no matter what was happening, I just kept directing my thoughts back to the blue and white sky, or the pink and white sky, or the idea of blueness, and how things look, and just the beautiful things that I enjoy, and put myself there instead of being in a place that I was troubled, and therefore troubling other people with my thoughts. So it was really, really cool. I'm going to do it some more. I'll probably talk about it more. I think that it was probably one of the most beneficial things that I've done in my life. Like I've been meditating recently a lot. Like I'll come back and just decompress, like I mentioned, where I'll just come and sit for 30 minutes and just not anything, right? Just not do anything before I move on to the next thing. Because I was realizing that I was like carrying all this extra stress into the other things that I was doing, and it wasn't fair to this guy. He added shadow from the cat's whiskers to the pants. I don't know why you'd do that. Okay, but it wasn't fair to whatever I was doing next, right? If I was, I was making food, I was making food anxiously. If I was trying to work on this, I was doing it with anxiety that I was carrying over from my day. And so when I realized that was the case, I was like, okay, I need to just take time to just let that drop. And what I have been doing for a really long time is I've been smoking weed, right? So it was kind of doing that already. And so when I stopped doing that, I didn't have that like break, like that buffer where it's like my brain was in this mindset and now it's in this mindset. So since I stopped doing that, I was just like, I was just having one continuous thought about all these things. And so huge difference. It made a huge difference to sitting down and being like, this is a different time, and this is a different place. These are different things that are happening. That was past, and this is present. So that's the case. That's a success story that I'm happy to share with you, and I'll continue to talk about it too. I'm sure as I begin to do it in other places as well. Just dealing with people in general is very stressful for me because people are complicated. They always seem to want different things than they say, and everybody is different, and they all use language differently. What do they mean when they say? And so it's really easy to overthink like every single interaction ever. And so, in that, in dealing with people and being around people, I will probably be putting myself more into that mindset of just being in a place where I'm present with them, in the same way that you do in an improv scene. Like you're present with a person in an improv scene, but you have your own private internal world. That's how really good improv happens. Is that I can envision my character and how they exist, and then also be actively listening and participating in the scene with people. And that that's how we do it. I think most people, they do this by default, and so and maybe I'm wrong, but I think a lot of neurotypical people probably, they do it by default. Like they have their own opinions, thoughts, and whatever about the world, and so they don't have to question those things. It goes into nice little boxes. And being neurodivergent is like, it's that we have to like actively do the things that neurotypical people get to do incidentally. So because we have to try to read social cues, and it seems like they pick those up, no problem. They pick up the inference, where we have to like try to suss through the inference when there's too many things going on, like that sort of thing. So this was one of those tricks for me. It was just like to like hold and create the character that I want in a public space, and still be able to interact with everybody. I feel like we had a successful day. I didn't feel like I was being a detraction to the team or anything like that in doing that. I felt like I was able to show up and assist in the exact same ways that I was, just way less anxious, personally anxious than I was. And I was still tired at the end of the day, but I wasn't like mentally like worn out, and so that to me was a big difference. Because again, it wasn't like a series of thoughts that I'd had throughout the day. It was just one or a couple. As I switched between thinking about the different things that were making me happy with like the sky and the clouds. And so anyway, I almost got distracted in thinking about the color green because I also like the color green a lot, especially like when you get out to the forest and you get to see that. And that almost got me distracted. And then, oh, did I just go over the butt? Sort of. Let me do these. But I think that I might use that at some point to, kind of like check back in with myself. Dude, what is he even doing here with this? I wonder. And so that that was a really cool. And then again, like I really do feel like it is my responsibility to maintain my own mental health, and not anybody else's to do that, because I'm the one who's having the feelings, and no one else is having those feelings, and they got their own shit going on. You know what I mean? So to be racked by that. And to have other people having to deal with my emotions just seems really like immature and irresponsible of a thing to do. Um, and that was like, even incidentally, like it wasn't like I was trying to make people do that because I don't try to make anyone deal with my thoughts and feelings and opinions or anything like that. That's not. I try to let people have their own space to do their own thing. But just being like close working places, like when you're in relationship with other people, it's going to happen anyway. Like how your mood affects people even if you don't want it to. Like how you feel is going to make other people feel some type of way. And so like for that, it was just like looking out for other people in a way that they don't even know or expect. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do for this shot here is I'm probably gonna do like a close. I'm gonna faux crop it right now so you can see what I'm talking about. But like this area right here is probably gonna be like a real tight. You can't see my fingers on the screen, but like probably do something like this to get around this problem of not having the legs, just like I did in the previous scene. So I'll probably show the cats on the other side. This is a really tricky shot. I'm probably overthinking it. And I probably only need the 3 lunas that I've cut out already. I don't think I'm going to use this one here, and I'll need to figure out something here because I do want this close. I think this close is really nice, but you see how I just don't have enough of like her dress to fill that in, and it's so complicated. I might use a different Luna here. Anyway, just those are the thoughts. It hasn't. If you've seen the process from the opening shot of the last sequence and this one, you'll see that there is quite a bit of leeway of what happens next to what I end up doing by making it move around a little bit. So I will just clean up what I can here. And then it is fairly short. I think it's like under a minute. It's like 40 seconds or something like that of the song. So in a lot of these poses, as I was thinking about it, they're just like too dramatic for what the song actually sounds like. So I do have that working in our favor too. Just getting it to do it. I think if we get her moving and then we get that jaw moving and then with Kate singing, I think that we're gonna have what we're looking for. I am really looking forward to working more closely with the animators and the illustrator together with the ongoing process so that there becomes less animatics and more animation. So I'm looking forward to that in the next process, this next phase of this project. So what the big hope here is, of course, is just letting people see what the show could look like. You know, what the characters could look like, and how what kind of thought process we have. I'm not really tied to a whole lot of it. A lot of this is really just trying to make it work with what we've got and like the way that this style is. That's kind of the big things for me. But there's a bunch of different directions it could go, and really just capturing the hearts and imaginations of the people who end up seeing this show. That they you begin to see its potential, and that's kind of like the big deal with this next big push, and getting it done by the end of the summer is just that we're having you see the potential of where the show could go. That it's not just an idea. It's a thing that could exist. That does exist and could exist. So we're hoping that's what you're saying when you come check this out. Now, for me personally, just to be able to work on Cox and Space in any iteration that we're looking at, something that has kind of like a Ren and Stimpy kind of look to it. It's kind of both gritty and clean, is kind of the style that I'm going for, that we're going for. Something that has, I really do like this two-dimensional style that we're going for, so that's kind of the thing I would like to see too, although again, not tied to it. Something where we have, it just has a unique kind of look to it that is more of that like old like paper cut look. And I say old, I guess. I'm referencing Terry Gilliam, but South Park is using it, and I guess that's not old, although it's been around for quite a number of years, over 20 years now. It's got to be. I was in middle school. I'm dating myself, but I was in middle school when South Park originally debuted. So that is the look. Also, I feel like we won't have to exploit as many South Koreans in order to do this style. I think it's more possible to do it in house if we do it in kind of a simplified way. And just 90s animation, studio houses, say King of the Hill, or so many other animation. That's what I'm thinking of, because I'm more familiar with their process. But they would be like, hey, here's our storyboards, and then we're going to send it off to this fleet of animators that we're paying. They're a living wage over there, but like as it was not comparable to like what an animator would be making here. So I love King of the Hill, and I do love Mike Judge, and they were doing what they could to make it as inexpensively as possible, which is understandable. We're gonna have to be doing the same thing, but maybe gray ethically, right? When you're exploiting people from another country because of the price difference. That's just colonialism, right? That Americans are guilty of in so many different ways. So, that's what we're hoping to avoid. That's what I'm personally hoping to avoid as we're working on Cox and Space, doing something that we can do. We can pay the people what they should be paid in order to be making that we can be putting out a quality show, um, with that as well. So that's the hope. That's the hope there. Now, I did. I was talking to somebody, a good friend of ours, a friend of the show is actually Adam LeShuck, who seemed interested in coming on to be co-host of the Joy of Animating. We'll see what happens. He might be able to show up in the next couple of episodes as we're working on this. The guy is always a riot in coming on, so I'm personally excited if he is able to he has the time to do that. He is a stand-up comic, but also he is very mathematically inclined. Uh, his brain is he's a really smart guy, and so I appreciate talking to him because he's always bringing something to the table. He's always got a very unique point of view. He's always interested in learning and thinking about things, and he definitely has some like off the wall points of view, which makes him an interesting guy to talk to. So I'm hoping that he will come on and we will be able to hang out all together, and you'll be able to catch up with him. He was on a previous few episodes, so you can always check him out. I think one of them was the Taylor Wingirder episode that he is on, and there's another couple of them. You'll see him featured in the thumbnail. So if you catch him and you're like, oh man, this guy's hilarious, as most people find that he is, you can check him out there too, because really doggy he is. Oh, that's why this isn't working. He is really quite funny, and wholly inappropriate in a lot of ways, but that is why. Um, but he like is so there are some comics who we have not been able to have back on the show because they were inappropriate and they didn't understand why they were inappropriate and how what they were saying was inappropriate. And Adam is not that guy. He is funny because he understands why exactly something is inappropriate, and then he will walk that line. And that's why he's a pleasure. He's inappropriate and self-aware, which is a rare treat for that. And he's lived a lot of life too, which makes him fun to hear about his misadventures, because he has had quite a few of them. Anyway, check him out if you can. Adam LeShock. He is on pretty much all the socials. I think that's what he goes by on all of them. I think if you just Google him, you can check him out. I'm a big fan of him. Yeah, and he's up and coming. He definitely will be recognized someday soon. He's been putting in the work for one, which you got to respect that. Someone who says they're going to do something and then actually does it, and then two, his material is unlike anyone else that you've ever heard, because he's thinking a bunch of unique thoughts, and so my personal favorite is people who think unique thoughts, and then share them with you in a concise and clear way, right? So yeah, man, I want to tell you some of his jokes, but I can't actually remember them to its fullness, in order to give them the proper credence. So that's why I'm encouraging you to check out Adam and check out his stand-up, because I don't know, I find it very refreshing. In the age of stand-up, the popular stand-up, and I know that this is like, in the fringe, all across America, there's stand-up that's not like this, but very popular stand-up is really like I don't know, just not great. It's just like shock value, but like the same thing, like boomer humor. That it's only shocking if you're from like middle America or something. or like it's just like toilet humor of like, you know, um, and or it's crowd work that's just like making fun of people, which is like easy jokes, because you just have to find something and make fun of somebody. That's not really. I don't know. Crowd work is hard, but this is like the lowest of that type. And so in the era of that, hearing somebody who is doing something that is just unexpected, and it is really refreshing. Uh, and not that, yeah, I don't mind inappropriate humor. I mean, I think that the blue humor, I think that's the whole like point of like comedy is to like talk about things that make people uncomfortable. So 100%, like please keep doing that, like pushing the the taboo, right? Like that is what that's what humor is useful for. Is just like I'm super uncomfortable with these ideas or whatever, and because of that, a comic like says it. George Carlin was fantastic for this, right? When he was pointing out, hey, our country is being sold right out from underneath us. That you're being censored in so many different ways. Bill Hicks was another one that I really look up to for that. He was like, America is getting dumbed down. You really need to pay attention to that. Those are the types of things. In my opinion, the comedian is the jester to the king. That needs to be pointing out, flaws and problems in society in a way that we can handle, right? That we can stomach and think about. And I feel like a lot of mainstream comedy right now, most of the stuff that's been really popular, say on YouTube and whatnot, just isn't doing that. It's really like shock value for the sake of shock, and not for like understanding the human condition. Like that, in my opinion, really is the best type. That's what comedy is used for, is understanding the human condition. But I mean, like I've ranted on the show a bunch. Like the reason, like the stories are told at all is because you're looking for some kind of like truth to take home. You want to find something that you can be like, oh, okay, this is how heroes behave, or this is what a coward is, or this is how people fall in love, right? And so when you don't deliver that in any of your art forms, whatever your art form is, then you're robbing people of the whole experience of art, right? The whole reason that we come to art to begin with. When it becomes just a commercial asset for selling more toys or whatever, then you're robbing people of the whole reason that they come to art at all. The reason that they would want you, the reason that art has been held up as a human experience for so long, is because of that, right? And so again, I understand commercialism. I understand the corporate mentality that if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. That absolutely, like, and it has to. Like Cox and Space is a commercial venture, so like I get that, um, and support it, right? Like it has to have a financial return if it's going to keep perpetuating itself. Like art, in a lot of ways, it can't be just like for its own sake, for the pleasure of it, as much as fun as that would be. It has to be good enough to sell to people, but that can't be its entire soul, or it eats itself, right? It becomes a thing that has no real reason for existing, because it's not doing the thing that it's supposed to, and that's a real tricky line. I'm not sure. You guys, please comment below on how you think that is supposed to be handled, in especially now. We're talking like a global market. In back, in a certain, you go back far enough, right? Like art is small. You're taking it from place to place. You're trying to just make enough money for it to continue to exist. But I guess also Van Gogh never made. He sold, I think, one painting in his life. and it was only afterwards that I forget who the dude was who made his art like a collector's item because he was finally dead, right? Um, you know, and that's when he became this like huge commercial success when somebody marketed him and made the money off of him. And so maybe I'm being idealistic in the way that I'm talking about it, but like that's it is the whole reason that the people come to artists because they want to see something that they haven't seen. They want to experience something they haven't experienced, and then also have something that they can take away for themselves. That they can recognize themselves in that, or they can recognize part of the human experience in that, and that's what makes like long-term art valuable, or like art that will last through time valuable. Um, anyway, so yeah, I feel like everything that you're doing artistically should be that. And then Michael Bay, of course, proves me wrong on almost every time he releases a movie. All respect to Mr. Bay for being a commercial success, because he does really have his finger on the pulse of what people want, because he keeps selling, blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster. And he's very well respected within the industry for doing a good job at that. And there are more people who do that. Um, so uh, I don't know. You're listening to a person who is not successful in any kind of way share their thoughts about art. So take that for what you will. Um, just take it for what you will. Perhaps when Caxton Space takes off and I'm working within the industry closely, selling you lunchboxes and T-shirts and action figures, I will feel differently about it. That it needs to be a certain way. But know for the record right now that I do believe that the purpose of art is to share a human experience. That and that's what makes it valuable over time. And here's an example. Say the Twilight Zone, right? The Twilight Zone was funded by commercials. You can tell Rod Serling comes on, and there's a private sponsor that he shouts out in every episode. And obviously, it's commercial television. Where it's still commercialized today. Uh, but I mean, just I would argue, look at the stories that are told in the Twilight Zone. The ones that still last, even though they're in black and white for one, and they're from a completely different era for two. But like what the stories they tell, which it gives you something that I was watching them recently, so this is why I'm saying specifically. It gives you something that you can still hold on to, that you can still think about, and so that's where like it's lasting art, and that's the big argument that I'm making. Like, I'm not mad at something being commercially successful. I'm not, no sour grapes for me that I'm like, I'm not commercially successful, so therefore, whatever, my art's better or whatever, because I don't feel like that's true at all. But what I am trying to point out is that, like, if you're trying to make something that's gonna last, it's lasting art, something that's not just, this summer's blockbuster hit that's, immediately forgotten again, then you need to be making it something that's, about something, that is about an enduring, like, human issue or concern. That's why love songs have always done so well, is because, throughout the ages people have been like, yeah, I've been in love before. It sucks, or it's momentarily great and it sucks and it's difficult the other times. um, you know and that's like that's key to the experience. That's why people keep coming back to those themes over and over again. um, and it needs to do that. Taylor Swift is successful because everybody can empathize with the breakup, which is notoriously good for her. And then also, she's a fantastic lyricist. She does say things in a very interesting way. So big Taylor Swift fan here, if you guys didn't know. Um, so, but yeah, that's that. Like, uh, there's my soapbox, springing off the back of talking about Adam Lashak, and why I think that he will be a stand-up who will be recognized fairly fairly soon for the quality of his work, because he is doing what's required to be recognized. The work for one, and then the bringing something of a human experience to it, that you're not a unique human experience to it, a point of view for one, and so again, if he is able to come on as a guest, I would be super glad to have him for that, because that's what he brings to all of the things that he does. Oh, what's up, buddy? I was literally just talking about you.
Oh. What are you talking about?
I just went on a rant, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Lashak. We're live streaming on YouTube.
Hello, people.
I was talking about
Hello.
how I believe that you'll be a stand-up who's going to be recognized very soon, because you're
Oh,
bringing
thank
you're bringing quality to the work that is required. You have a unique point of view, and you share about the human experience, and that's what's necessary for good art. For enduring and good art. So
well, two things. I thank you that you see me as somebody who does that,
okay.
and I also agree with you that that is what makes somebody great at art. So
Fantastic. You weren't tuning into the live stream right now. You weren't like you didn't time this appropriately so that you could show up.
I did not. I'm sorry. I
That's
because I
awesome. No,
remembered your Facebook post, and it was like I got to jump in and talk to
sweet.
that
Well, that you came on at right the right time. That this literally sounds like we set it up, but we did not.
Hell yeah.
Those of you in the audience,
Push nothing in building drugs.
it's just the flow of the universe. So, how you been, man?
Perfect. I've been good. I've been better. I've been great. I've been everywhere in between.
Wow.
Um. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I moved in with Jennifer.
Okay. Sweet.
Um.
Jennifer Welch,
It's
right?
like with that.
What's her? She's an author and a professor in your area. Uh,
I was about to touch on that. Yeah.
yeah.
So first off, she is my boss.
Yes.
So by the fact due to the fact that she pays me, it does make more sense for me to live with her for not paying rent.
Okay. Nice.
So that's cool. But we have had some stressful times. We have had some ins and some outs. We went. Did you see that we went to Italy?
I did. Yeah, I was following you guys' adventure when you were there. How was
Uh,
that?
Dude, Italy was awesome. It was like very much I'm about to post a YouTube video about it, but it was very much like a European vacation,
Nice.
if I had to say. You
Now
know,
she was
um,
there. If I remember, she was writing a book about how it's like so pretty, it's overwhelming. Isn't that kind of like the thesis?
yeah, correct. In Florence, so there is something called the Florence syndrome where you are just so overwhelmed by the beauty of art that you can't function, basically, right? So, he her character in this book that we're writing goes to Florence and gets the Florence syndrome.
Huh.
And we had to go to the we had to look at all the chapels and figure out which chapel was the right chapel for her to have this in, you know.
Interesting. Okay. Fair.
Um, and so it's called Santa Croce.
Okay.
And there's a little bit of a spoiler for the book, but like not like you'd have to read it to understand what I'm getting at. But so Santa Croce is every inch of this place is painted with like super historically significant shit. Like I don't even know. It's one of those things where it's like I don't even know how you put this together, like without being like offensive towards somebody else or painting over somebody else's work or and then but this is what we found. So because Donald is her son who commits suicide in the book, like the main character.
Okay.
Her son commits suicide in the book. And so but she finds Donald in a painting, except he can't bear is the figure that is Donald in the painting isn't looking at the painter. He's like shying away.
Huh. Okay.
Um, and so that was the thing though. Is like the fact that he's shying away is like this is what makes it the right character. You know what I mean? And so she sees her son on the wall, and then because this is also interesting. This chapel, um, is just like the it's built on top of a graveyard, I guess technically,
What?
where people's graves are just on the floor in the chapel, and
What?
like yeah, and this was my idea, but I was like, I think that she trips on one of these graves and hits her head and fucking dies, and that's how she did, and that's the end.
Huh.
Because it's super easy to fucking trip in there and just fucking, I don't know, you could knock yourself out so easily. Like, it's like not, a lot of the graves actually have like, yeah, like kind of like tape, almost tape around them to
Okay.
say like, hey, don't trip over this.
Right. Right.
But some don't. You know what I mean? I like the picture is just her running in a manic episode
Right.
and fucking hitting her head, dying instantly. That's oh wait. Man, I'm giving these. But it's been a long time since we've talked, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
giving you. I'm giving you So actually, this would happen. She is not hit her head and die. She dies in the hospital.
Okay.
Why does she die in the hospital? Because our, I think, second and last night in Rome, right? I went to bed and Jen goes to get a pack of cigs, right? Sure, no problem.
Right.
No problem. I had a nightmare and had a panic attack
Whoa.
and fell out of bed and like created a ruckus, I guess. Because as I was trying to like ease myself back to sleep, I get a knock on the door and it's 8 Italian police officers.
What?
And
Where was
they
Jen? She okay?
do Jen was not there.
Okay.
Jen didn't even know what was happening.
Okay.
8 Italian police officers who swarmed my room, handcuffed me.
What?
I dude, I put like I got my head like they were swinging me around, and I put a hole in the wall with my head
What?
because they were like just swing like just fucking like, dude. They thought I was a criminal. They thought I was like because she wasn't there, but they thought that she was there and that I was abusing her. So they were treating me like I was like
Oh, because of all the noise that you were making, but from falling out of bed and
uh,
whatnot.
what's that?
Hey, because you were making all the noise from falling out of bed and probably the sounds that you were making during the panic attack.
Correct.
Okay.
I scared the room next. I scared the room on both sides. But everybody called the police. Everybody was freaking out. They talked to the front desk and knew that I was with a woman, so they thought that I was assaulting a woman. And dude,
Those
like
are a
it
hell
just
of a
went
lot of
so
conclusions to jump to all at one time.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like they're yelling at you in Italian, of course.
yes, and dude, I said over and over, like, I don't know Italian. I only speak English, and no, none of the not okay, because this is this is what happened was like I kept saying that, and none of them were receptive to that fucking at all. And what I ended up
You should
doing
have
was
used
just
sign
saying
language. I mean, it was
medico,
Italian,
medico,
right?
medico. Was that?
You should have used, just gesticulated a lot with your hands, but they were handcuffed. So basically, they made it so you
Yeah,
couldn't
but
talk.
literally, exactly. No, look, no, no, that's a good one though. Literally, no, because when they started to listen was when I just started shouting medico, medico, medico.
Okay.
Like I need the hospital.
Right,
Take
right.
me to the fucking hospital. Um, and so they they take me to the hospital. They talk to Jennifer. They realize that I have in fact not been assaulting her or touching her in any way. Um, and then now I am like the hospital trauma. So I, but because they slammed me into a wall, right? And I lost consciousness then.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Damn, dude.
Next thing I know, I wake up and I am in a hospital bed, and all four of my limbs are strapped
Oh
to the
my
bed.
god, dude. Like, the literal worst. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know, dude. Right? Like, yo,
What?
you do highlights for this show because, like, goddamn. Um, no, like, yes, no, no. So strapped, I'm strapped to the bed, and I can't move. And dude, I have a catheter in my dick,
Oh my
and
god.
fucking what? Oh my, dude. Because I almost tried to pee.
You almost tried to pee. Oh no, you're breaking
Wait,
up.
wait, okay, look. I almost tried to pee vengefully, but I couldn't do it. Uh,
I mean, just
because I had a,
for the experience, huh?
yeah, no, and so, dude, I just had to fucking yell until they very gradually were like, okay, well now we'll be nice and take the catheter out. And it's like, well, you should have done it. And it's like, okay,
Right.
well if you don't kick, if you don't kick, we can take the cuffs off your legs. And like, dude, I'm not fucking guy. And like, dude, I it probably took 2 hours before they fully like unstrained me, you know? And then dude, the weird thing though was like Jen brought me my phone and laptop and shit, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, you can have all that." Like, no like it wasn't like they weren't concerned about cords or concerned about you know what I mean? Like any of the like I don't know. It's like I don't know what they thought I was doing where they had to restrain me
Right, yeah,
if
it
they
must have
were
been the
just
story from the cops, right? Like,
yeah,
the.
and I don't know what the fuck the cops said.
Yeah.
It's so it, so the new ending of the fucking book is that she fucking dies in the hospital. Because she hits her head, goes to the hospital, has this horrible experience. Because dude, like they were like because first of all, every diagnosis they gave me was incorrect. They were like, oh well, he has swollen veins. Oh well, he has this. Oh well, he has that. Like it was like nothing actually made sense that they were saying was wrong with me, and like you're just trying to keep me there. And apparently that's something that they do with Americans and like foreigners because their own people don't pay medical bills. They have free healthcare. They don't
Okay.
pay fucking medical.
Right.
So they rely on us to fucking pay medical bills. So they tried to they tried to bill me like 4 grand for a night in the hospital, you know? And in this is really funny. Oh, this shouldn't be public on a podcast, but whatever.
Well, yeah, we are definitely
So
live streaming right now, so if it
yeah,
shouldn't
kind
be,
of.
y'all getting the top
Hey,
secret
fuck the,
information right now.
well, fuck the Italian. So they were like, hey, you had a $4,000 bill. We've reassessed it. It's now $3,500. You missed the
Okay.
payment on the bill. And I forwarded it to Jennifer, and then Jennifer took away her the thing at the end of the email.
Okay. Like the yeah the closing whatever signature.
Yeah, but so she erases that and just is like, because she has a Yuma Gmail, so
Okay.
she's like, this is being investigated by, because yo, let me tell you, because of the way I was like strapped to that bed, I have no feeling in my wrist at all.
Still?
Still,
Wow.
still, dude. Yes, and they're trying to charge me $4,000 for like, oh man, it's for like ruining my nerves. Like what the, like fuck off.
Right. Right.
Um.
Oh my god, dude.
So yeah, so Jennifer was just like, this is being investigated by the University of Michigan, and I haven't heard anything from them since.
Gotcha.
But yeah, but no, it was fucked though. Like I was so this is what I was gonna say, because
Okay.
they actually like, because they were like, oh, you need fluids, and they gave me so many fluids that I actually shit my pants, and
Wow.
it was like, yeah, and dude, it was like by bags and bags of too many fluids, like way too many fluids, like, dude, yeah, because I shit my pants, but I also realized like it was impossible to not shit my pants
Right.
at that, like, yeah, they super like negligent and just like, oh, he needs fluids, get more fluids, get more fluids, like, and not like nobody's actually keeping track of like how many fluids I've had. Um, and just the dude, like, no, but because like it's weird because like I had a lot of fun in Italy. It was a very European vacation. It was great, but also like and I would go back to Italy, but I would also have a partial fear being back in Italy
Right.
due to the fact that like I know that their healthcare system is actually fucked, and like I would not, like I wouldn't be well taken care of if I had to go to the hospital. I actually wouldn't be.
Right. Right.
It's like, that's fuck. That's actually not like it's a bit unsettling for real. And
Right. Yeah. Oh my god.
turns out like, I don't know if it's just Italy or Europe in general, but like a pharmacist has much more of a job than like, dude, if something's wrong, you just want to go to the pharmacy and tell the pharmacist what's wrong with you and what you're like, what symptoms you're feeling, because a pharmacist will be like, a pharmacist knows literally every fucking drug in their store,
Nice.
and they like know what will help you, and they can write you prescriptions, and they can, offer, like, give you over the counter whatever the fuck, like it, like they just kind of listen and diagnose, and like they really kind of, I don't know, like in America, for example, like if you were ever like just going in to see like a nurse practitioner or something, like you don't need to see your doctor, but like you just need to see like somebody for something. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Right.
dude, that's not there. You just fucking go to the pharmacy, and the
Yeah,
pharmacist
that's like the
fucking
old way they used to do it in
like,
America. Also, that's a kind of a traditional way. You'd be like, "Hey, these are my symptoms," and the pharmacist is like, "Hey, these are the drugs I've got available to make that happen." No, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's yeah,
No, it's interesting because like it's way more of a like because like I don't know, I feel like pharmacists here like literally just count. prescription pills. That's their fucking job.
Yeah, it's that
You know what I
is. It
mean?
seems like that's the case. Yeah.
Whereas like there, it's like they actually have like they actually kind of like play a role in shit like
I
in
need
the society.
I need some
For
ketamine
sure.
because my horse is sick as shit.
Dude, I'm looking for ketamine. I met a dude. I was at oh actually this is a fun story. Especially for the podcast.
Yeah.
I was in Oak Lake, I gotta go back to that mic just because it's been a couple months and I like the mic. But it was maybe like a month and a half ago. Um, I went to this show and this dude's just like, "Hey man, do you like mushrooms?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do."
Yeah.
He had a chocolate bar, and he goes, "There's an eighth in there. It's on me. That's
All
all
right.
yours."
There you go.
And
Right
I'm
on.
like, "Damn." Totally, yeah. I was like, "Hell, fucking yeah, dude." And I took it, and that shit fucking works, you
Nice.
know. And she was like, "Yeah, I got like just text me what you need, and I'll let you know if I got it." And I was like, I was literally like, "Give me like ketamine and like three other things that were just kind of like like popular but obscure at the same time, kind of thing." Um, and he was like, "Yeah, I got." Like he just named the price, and I was like,
Okay.
"Dude,
Okay.
that's fucking sick."
No.
You know, like,
Right on.
cause like I don't
Street pharmacist right
cause
there.
like yeah, yeah, yeah. Because as fans of the show will know, and you know, as I'm not afraid to share, I used to be a heavy drug addict, you know, but
Yeah, guys, check out those episodes. I
like
called them out earlier.
yeah, what's that?
Oh, I mentioned them earlier. Yeah, they can definitely go check those out. Yeah, we get the backstory. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 for sure. But I don't know. It's weird because like, dude, when I was like when I was like a young like, cause oh, okay, well this is probably I'm gonna share this on the podcast, even though it probably shouldn't be. But
Okay.
like,
What?
um, I I, I basically am allowed to do as much cocaine as I want to. Um,
Who's saying that you
and
can do as
and
much cocaine as you want to?
um, the card that it gets paid with.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
you, you know, and it doesn't have my name on, you
gotcha.
know.
Fair, fair.
But so you know that's a thing. But I don't know, but like the service of this of this drug dealer was something that I hadn't even seen in my days doing dope for real.
Okay.
He was really just like dude, almost eager to just get you know take care of you.
Right,
You know,
right. He got good customer service.
what, dude, he had great customer service. It made me want to buy something from him just to buy something from him.
Right? You're like, bro, I will call you
So
up
there's
even
a
if I'm
joke
not
there
trying to get
somewhere.
trash this weekend.
Yeah, dude, there's a joke there somewhere. Like I don't even want to get high, but I just like this drug dealer.
I just like hanging out
So
with you, bro. So
I, I,
I want to support your local small business. Um,
yeah,
shop local, small business.
dude, that's hilarious. Yep. Did I ever? Because I found when I was doing a lot of like organizing documents earlier today,
Okay,
and I found one of my first jokes.
you found your.
Um, one of my the first jokes I wrote.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and dude, it's actually like it's dark. Okay, it's all right. So it goes like this. It goes like, has there ever been a Down syndrome child with AIDS?
Wow. Wow. Dude.
I
Okay.
don't know why that's a joke. I don't know why that's a joke.
I don't
Actually,
know why
that's
that's a
very
joke either.
sad.
That's pretty.
If there were to be a Down syndrome child with AIDS, but
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about a
There's
Down
got to
syndrome
be.
child with AIDS, I'm wondering now, did they were they born with AIDS?
See, that's what I'm
or did
thinking.
they accept it? Because is there some pedophile Down syndrome raper with AIDS
Wow,
out in
wow.
the community? Do we need to
Okay.
know about it? Yeah, shouldn't we? Yeah, and that's yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
I
really
should mention right
frustrating.
now, you guys, if you want to continue to hear this
So
show,
aware
it's
of this
definitely not going to be
age
monetized. So go check out coxspace.com, click on the link, join the
and
crew, and you can help
join
support
the
us in that way.
Patreon.
Yeah, support our Patreon.
So
Um,
but like,
that's a really
in,
fucked up joke. I don't. Yeah,
I know,
like what the fuck,
in
dude?
like, I think that's why I never fucking told it on stage. Is I was just like, man,
Fair, fair, probably
that is
fair.
not.
Yeah, um, fair. Maybe that's a one to keep working. Yeah, because there's something there to it, right? Right. I mean, because like AIDS, that's
Yeah,
not the only way to get it. You can also get it through intravenous use. So is there a guy who has Down syndrome or a girl who has Down syndrome who is also like heavy into the scene, right?
well,
And
dude, I told you about the other joke that I can't like that never works, so I will not tell. Where
okay,
it's like there's no pedophilia in Muslim culture because otherwise those little girls should have to also wear hijabs. Like do you look at a little girl and be like I'm not sure, you get what I get. I don't know.
no, that joke is not. I don't even get what is supposed to
So
be
so
funny
so
or
so like this was actually what happened to me. I was walking through a mire and I saw a Muslim couple,
okay,
a man and a woman, and the woman's wearing her hijab.
okay,
And then down the aisle, I see like they have three daughters, and the daughters are not wearing hijabs,
okay.
right? And like if and I just kind of like I laughed to myself. I was like, "Is there no pedophilia in Islam?" Because the hijabs are for modesty, right?
Right.
Like you don't want it's so you don't give in to temptation, which is already wrong because have some self responsibility. But
Right, yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Right.
Um,
Like it's
yeah,
not the
yeah,
clothes that the person's
yeah,
wearing. It's you and your
yeah,
your thought process, obviously.
yeah. It's you and your violence.
Right. Yep.
Not that I have anything against Islam, Muslim, Arabs,
No, no,
anything.
but you're saying, yeah,
Uh,
like all of rape
talking to
culture,
each other.
it's not the victim's fault. It is
Yeah,
100% the perpetrator.
yeah.
And thank you for
Just
calling
to
that
be
out
clear.
because that is
Just
true.
to be clear. Yeah. But no, but I saw that the daughters were not in hijabs, and I
Interesting.
was like, oh, that's what I was like, wait, am I allowed to be turned on by them
No,
because they're not in hijab? Like,
because that's the whole
is
thing is to
pedophilia
protect the.
legal in Muslim?
Oh Jesus! That I see where
It
your
was just
fucked
like,
up thought process comes from.
yeah,
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 yeah, okay. Um, it's like, and they're not worried. They're not worried about that in Muslim culture, right? It's just women's
right,
purity and
right,
that sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
right, yeah.
maybe they understand that children are not supposed to be sexualized, unlike the West for some reason, who believes that beauty pageants for 4-year-olds is the right choice to make. Like what the fuck culturally
Literally.
acceptable? Yeah, like what? Hopefully, I mean, I hope that that's the case where they're like, yeah, why would they wear one? Nobody is tempted by that. Um, you know.
Right. You were no. That's the thing. Is like like the problem was I couldn't. It seemed. I don't know. It wasn't direct, but I always felt like the audience was looking at me like I was a pedophile
Well,
by
it
telling
does
me
take a
the
full
joke.
explanation to understand where you're coming from on that joke. So yeah, yeah, but yeah,
It's
exactly.
no.
Like
It's one. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to learn.
yeah, I'm not even
Dude,
sure. Uh,
I haven't.
uh, sorry.
That's funny. I have a new one that's super good though. I'm
Okay,
super. Let me.
something you can share.
It's yeah, no, I love to share this.
Perfect.
So it's basically like so when white people move out of the city, it's white flight,
Right.
right? And then when white people move into the city, it's gentrification,
Yes.
right? So where do white people go? Just don't move.
Just
Like
stop.
it's your
Stop
right
moving.
to stop. It's your right
Stop.
to stop moving.
Just
Stop
stop
it.
moving.
And then you like point to a white lady in the audience and you're like, stop it right now. Stop moving.
Yeah. Stop moving.
Just don't move another muscle. It's a problem. You know,
It's a problem. No matter what you do, it's a problem.
you're being you're being an issue. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's that's a good one.
That one, dude. Because like when I wrote that, I was like, damn, that that one was a good idea.
right? Like, and just tell the people to stop moving. There's one that I caught. I was trying to quote earlier. I couldn't remember the correct punchline though. But I saw you post on your Facebook. It's like I stopped using Twitter as a dating service. Instead, I switched
I
to
said,
Zillow.
I stopped using Tinder. I started using Zillow. Zillow is a website that like you look for houses on,
Right, right.
and so the joke basically goes into like basically how I like quote unquote got a date with a realtor.
Oh, that's.
Um,
I'd heard the rest of the joke before. I just couldn't
well,
remember what the punchline was.
yeah, no, so yeah, that's the joke. Is that I think I'm on a date. She thinks she's showing houses to people, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's a sure thing. You can always get a date, you know.
Right.
And, and then it's like, you know, in my experience, when a girl asks you to go in the shower, you're in.
Right.
But I had my pants off, and she was talking about tile work. It was very confusing.
That is the yeah, and then also yeah, I mean, realtors have to be good looking in order to sell houses. Often they don't have to have much beyond that
Oh
anyway.
yeah,
They're basically the
no
no shade
respect
on
for
Vanna White, but
cheaters.
they're basically the Vanna Whites. Because Vanna White I think had like
Yeah,
several PhDs or something, maybe a doctorate.
yeah, yeah.
But
No, yeah.
good deal.
And then, dude, well, I don't know. It's been pretty good because I got like 3,000 views in the last day
Wow,
on
on that
stand-up
joke,
shorts
right on,
on
dude.
YouTube.
Okay.
But like, because the other, because it was the one that you saw, and then also the killing in AA. Like, I started stand-up comedy because I was killing at AA meetings, and I didn't fit in well at AA meetings, so I came here. You know, um, but that dude, it's interesting because oh wait, I just lost it. I just lost the tip of my tongue.
Oh yeah,
That's retarded.
you were talking
Oh,
about how you just got 3,000 views on those bits.
oh yeah, you kind of never know. I okay. Two things. Two things. It was that you kind of never know what is gonna get a lot of views.
Crazy,
You
right?
know, like
Yeah, I've gotten some like
oh, like
crazy amount of views on. I'm like, really that video? That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah, it's like that one kind of sucked. And
yeah.
then
That's
my
in my
other ones,
opinion. Yeah,
if
that was
you
not my
don't
best
want to
video.
watch
Yeah.
it, you know, like, and then but also that killing in a joke is like because that started as like a one liner or kind of thing where it's like yeah, you know, I started just killing in a that was a joke, and then like it I have like I like 5 or 6 punch-ups for that now.
Oh, wow.
It's like crazy. Because it's like, my parents tried to host an intervention for me one time, but I asked what they were serving and they said nothing. So I assumed it was the BYOB, and that was very confusing. Um, and then it was like, I'm an alcoholic, but like a cute alcoholic. I don't get drunk and text my ex, but I will get drunk and text your ex. Um,
Oh, Jesus, dude.
and then dude, this one is shady. This one is literally. I'm super proud of this one.
Okay.
This one is where it's like as an alcoholic, I found a way to get out of a DUI every time,
Huh.
no matter what.
How's that being white?
Basically, what you do, if you get pulled over, you start a high speed chase. Okay,
Okay.
you start a high speed chase. You get on the highway, go hundreds of miles, different, different districts, whatever it takes. Okay.
Okay.
By the time you pull over, you are going to blow under the legal limit, and they will not be able to prove that you were drunk driving.
Because your heart rate was so high that you were pounding through that alcohol. Is that
Yeah,
the
right.
principle behind that? This is
You're given
terrible
the
advice from
time.
Adam the Shock, but it's a fantastic joke.
Dude, that's like one of my
This-
like one of my proudest jokes. Yeah. You start a high speed chase to
Just start a
avoid the
high-speed chase
speed.
to get out of a DUI. You
Dude, it's
won't.
fucking work. It's
Yeah.
fucking work.
Yeah, you won't have the DUI. You'll have all the incidental stuff that happened afterwards, but
Right. Yeah.
but
Fleeing a
you
loot.
but you won't have a DUI. Uh,
They cannot stick you
they can't.
with their fucking blood. Yeah.
Right, reckless endangerment, yes. Manslaughter, absolutely. But yeah, DUI off the hook. You're safe to keep drinking.
Either way, you're not allowed to drive for 6 years. But
Yeah, I mean, it's got
technically, if
long-term
you
consequences. You really got to think about the ramifications of your choices here.
yeah, they're probably both a felony. Like, I don't actually know. I should look into it. But dude, yeah, no, that's like, wait, dude, that's like, because I don't know. That was one of those jokes where I wrote, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm like, I don't know. That joke feels like it's like a little smart, where but everybody is gonna really be like, oh, yeah, like yeah, I don't know. That feels like a little too like that might be like highbrow for some
Maybe,
groups.
maybe so. They have to come to the conclusion that you come to that you're just trying to not get the DUI.
Right?
Maybe,
No, it's pretty
maybe so.
literally it's all of the technicality that it relies on. Yeah.
Like, you have to know a little thing about something. Yeah, that's
Dude,
pretty
I
fantastic.
started just cause man, you don't do stand up, do you?
I don't. I've written one set that I've been wanting to do, and I just really haven't gotten around to doing it. Is what it's coming down to, but uh,
You got it. Oh man.
it's fun. Yeah, no, it's
No,
fun.
it's funny. We talked like extensively, obviously. No, you're funny. You could do like you would be better than most of the people that I fucking see on a daily basis. For real.
Thank
Like,
you for that. Yeah, really, my problem with doing stand up is that you have to generally sit through a lot of people who are also doing stand up, and that's the part that's the most
I
taxing for me.
really
So,
fucking wonder. Luckily, I was big enough of a narcissist to want to see myself go up.
yeah,
Yeah. So I sat through the fucking dog shit of every.
right,
Wait,
no, yeah.
do you know the Kanye quote?
Which one? We respect Yi on the show, but only for being batshit insane.
Do you know the Kanye quote where he like it's like after one of the like he performs in an award show and then he's getting like interviewed after and he goes, you know, my biggest regret I think in performing was that I couldn't watch myself perform.
Oh my God, Yee. See, this is why I love him. Is that like it
I
baffles
know.
it like blows my mind that he's like a celebrity or that he ever had the like wherewithal to like
Dude,
become
I
famous,
know. He's
because he is nuts. Like he is like out and
dude,
out
he was always
crazy.
so clearly, he was always so clearly insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And like there's never been a
he's
point in his
never
career
had
where I was
like
like, yeah,
a
Kanye's
room.
got it together. I've always been like, nah, dude, that guy's clearly insane. And that's why I love him because he's like definitely like Mad Hatter energy. Yeah, like
Dude, he's probably my favorite. Like, he might be my favorite artist of all time. I hate to say it.
yeah,
Like,
well, just for
like,
that, right? Like it's just like not his music, not his person, not like the influence down the world, but just because he's like, yeah, I'm black, I'm gonna be MAGA, and you're like, bro, what?
dude, because like he was the one who said that George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Right?
He was the one who said Beyonce had the best music video of all time. Like
Hey,
like
hold on.
man,
I'm gonna let you finish, right? Yeah, like what the
I'm gonna,
fuck, dude?
hey, I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm we
Like
gotta
this,
let you finish.
just absolutely batshit insane behavior, and I'm here for it, you know.
What, dude, it's so funny because like that I like somebody put together like a timeline of that night, and he was just carrying around this bottle of Hennessy, and it was just getting lower and lower and lower, and he was like, "Oh God, oh no, oh no," and then that happened, and he was like, "Ah, damn it!" Like, oh geez, he was like, well, only 10 out of 10 psychologists could have predicted this.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like, so I mean, the thing is that with Kanye, right? Like he's got to have some mad dirt on
oh,
somebody, right? Like that's how he becomes famous and
oh,
has these like
oh,
records put out and stuff like that, you know. And they're like,
well,
top.
okay, not to get this podcast taken down for being fucking anti-Zionist or whatever the fuck,
Uh-oh.
but
Well, no,
talking like,
we don't support.
you
Yeah.
don't stand with Israel on this podcast, just to be clear,
No, I
you
actually
just
don't. We actually don't. I mean, and not the nation of Israel, but like just the fact that they think that it is Zion and that they should be able to slaughter people over that and do a genocide
and
because of that is wrong. And that will of course demonetize us. But yeah, it's wrong to kill people. I don't know. You were a little upset when your people were getting killed too. So you think you would have learned the lesson and not become the oppressor.
that's what I'm
Um,
saying. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's just interesting to me as an outsider that you, no, but I guess we'll just get back to Kanye real quick
Let's talk about
before we say.
Kanye. Sing too far
Okay,
down that
um,
one, yeah.
but it was like one of my favorite clips is like I'm not gonna say what kind of doctor, but it was a Jewish doctor.
What, dude? Like,
Do you know that clip?
see,
You know
just for clarity, just in case people are confusing us, I'm not anti-Jew because I'm
I
not
am
against
not
any race of
into.
people
I'm not
because
right.
people like as a race what they're born into or a religion, right? Because that's a religion and it's not a race. But like practice what you
I'm not.
believe, be where you're
I'm not
born.
anti-Semitic. I am anti-Zionist. I am
Yeah,
not anti-Semitic
yeah, there's
in any way at all.
big
I love
difference.
the Jews.
Big
I
difference.
support the Jews.
Yeah.
I am only anti-Zionist in their the Zionist belief. To be clear, I
Yeah.
am anti-Zionist in the Zionist belief where where the Jews should own Greater Israel, which takes up all of Turkey and Afghanistan. I don't
Right.
believe that
Right.
that should
No.
be or good. I don't
The,
believe that that would be good in any way.
well, good or
And
right.
I,
Yeah.
you know,
Also, yeah, they're citing for that belief is an ancient text that their group of people made up. So
Correct.
that's just not
Correct.
that's not a legal
Correct.
binding document in anybody's record or
Okay.
standard. You know what I mean? Also,
Yeah.
they haven't held that land for a very long time, thousands of years. And also, if you
Right.
look at the book itself, they're being punished to not have that land. So, by their own book, they shouldn't have it either. So, uh, I'm just
By your
there's
own
a lot of
book,
flaws with that
your own book,
stance.
you don't fucking deserve it. You, you
Like just
fucking loser.
yeah,
All
like
right.
yeah. I'm sorry. Y'all a scattered nation because you couldn't get your shit together according to God. So don't go
Now you
citing
need
God
somebody
now.
from Philly to fucking take you to fucking. Oh my. Oh my. All right. Are
But
we being? Are we?
I am on board for the stirrup of the Middle East and the absolute destruction that goes on there. If it brings about Armageddon,
Or
because Armageddon would be cool. I'd like to live to see it. You know.
one something. One thing that's interesting. My dad as a as a state of Michigan teacher, he
Uh-oh.
taught in the state of Michigan.
Okay.
Okay.
Still
Um,
currently a teacher or
part
no?
of
He's retired now.
he's retired. He's retired.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So he can't lose his job over the next statement you're gonna make.
he cannot lose his job for any reason.
Okay, good, good.
But but he still I was thinking about this earlier today, and it's interesting because so part of his teaching contract says that he cannot be outspoken against Israel. Like that's
Jesus
true in
fucking Christ. Ugh,
that's true in 38 states or something like that.
that's
Like
fucking
if yeah
insane.
yeah you,
Yeah, but what if they're
if
doing
you
shit
talk
that is
about
reprehensible?
fucking
What about that then?
yeah, well, you lose your fucking job.
Yeah, yeah,
What
exactly.
about that?
But like, how is it
What
so
about
like it's like built into like that we must support Israel regardless of what they do? Like, how did
he's
that?
fucking he's a math teacher.
Yeah,
He is
exactly.
a math
I
and
remembered that. Yeah, I was like, I don't think he's doing anything like
yeah,
politically involved at all.
he's not covering anything right where that would even come up. But if he were to say to his class that, maybe Israel is committing a genocide,
Right,
something like that.
right,
For example, he would get fired. He would, well, he's not teaching anymore, but he would
right,
have been fired. He would have lost his pension. He would have, just everything would have been gone. He might have even been legally prosecuted. I don't actually know, but
right.
I think it actually might have gone that far. But based on the thing that I was reading, and so my dad, it kind of and it kind of sucks because my dad's a little bit of a Zionist, just because he's never been exposed to any anti-Zionism.
Right. Well, and again, is that not just this blatant opposition? It's like, hey, human rights are being violated, and because of that,
Well, well,
we as humans should speak
sure.
out about it. Uh,
Well, if you ask him, Muslims have been attacking the Jews for the last 100 75 years or however since if you ask him, it's
that still
the
doesn't
facts of the matter
justify.
are that Israel has been um attacked and at war since their first day of being a state.
When
um
when they occupied a land that didn't belong to them, yeah, I imagine that the people who lived there,
right, right, yeah,
whose
yeah,
property
yeah,
that was,
yeah.
were a little
It
upset
doesn't,
about that.
actually hold up the question, right? It doesn't.
I
And
mean, that's just the
no,
crazy part that doesn't even measure into the equation at all. That a superpower came in and was like,
no,
this land belongs to these people. I mean, again, but let's get out into American politics where we are like, oh yeah, we landed here and now we own this land, even though there's a bunch of
yeah,
nations who live here already.
right.
And they're
Really,
peacefully, or they're living here and they have their own rule of law and whatever. We're not even going to bother with that.
they have uh, fuck, what's the word? Like melting potted themselves. I don't. I'm not thinking the right word, man. But
They didn't integrate.
like Yeah, integrate, perfect. Yeah, exact. Thank you. No, they have integrated with themselves just fine with without your intervention, actually. So, dude, I found like one of just one of the coolest things I've ever seen on Reddit the other day. Um, somebody was like posting from Jerusalem,
Hmm.
and they took a picture of a manhole cover, and the manhole cover said "State of Palestine."
Like,
Dude, I was like, fuck yeah. Dude, it's like, dude,
nice.
they haven't even changed the fucking manholes. Like,
They're just like, it's
they
ours
know
now.
they're in Palestine. They know they're in Palestine.
Right, right.
Bitch, like,
Like,
dude, it's so, dude, man.
that's wild.
Yeah, I guess we're done, but this one, like, I kind of teared up at this. I was, like, because I do a lot of like Google Maps and then like learning about locations and that kind of. Which, by the way, I want to promote. I have a new series that I'm coming out with about that is called "Expert Advice from Somebody Going Nowhere."
Okay. Is
Okay,
that on your
that's
YouTube channel?
yes, that
And
will be on the Analyst YouTube channel.
what is the YouTube channel again? Call that out.
AND space LESH and
Nice.
Lesh.
Yeah, guys, check that out because you
Because
do math videos also up there, right? Is that
yeah.
the other
If
main
you
thing you
want
do?
to learn
Yeah.
about math, if you want to learn about math or terrorism or um, even yeah, even the white genocide concept as a
Yeah,
concept.
actually, guys,
You
if
know,
you,
you
I
can
mean,
learn about
okay, so before we move on real quick, I know you're going to cover the thing, but the white genocide, the genocide of the American Indian
oh,
here is like 10 times larger than the I was going to say the apocalypse, but the Holocaust. It's like 54 million people. It
totally, yeah,
yeah, I
dude,
mean,
crazy.
like it like that we live on stolen
And
land is
dude,
not a
yeah,
myth and needs to be discussed more. Americans should have some shame for the fact of that plus slavery, but there's sometimes too many fish to fry at
ultimately,
the
like,
same time.
yeah, well, that is yeah, something I did learn recently though that I want to bring up in this conversation.
Yeah.
Americans, you should be ashamed of yourself, but something that I learned. Um, Smallpox blankets
Oh
were actually
Jesus, we're not.
never a thing.
They were never a
N-
thing. What are you talking
didn't
about?
no, it didn't. It just didn't fucking happen.
So
Um,
they were
like.
accidentally spreading smallpox, is what you mean, or
Well, the people who would have been in the position at the time to give smallpox blankets were not like vindictive enough to be like, oh, let's use a bioweapon
okay,
on these
gotcha,
people.
gotcha.
Like,
So you're saying that
like
it was more incidental in that.
that was, well, it was completely incidental if it happened at all,
Okay,
because
gotcha.
also like also the thing with the Native Americans was like the reason they didn't get smallpox in the first place is because like I don't know, me and Jen were making a joke about this, but it's basically like they were socially distancing always,
Okay,
like just all the time. Like they were just always outside and always 6 feet apart, and not like we're only indoors for sleeping for really. So like it wasn't, you know what I mean? They weren't really spreading viruses between each other and like
interesting.
making them work. And, like it wasn't like it wasn't really a problem with them.
Okay, that's
But like
interesting. Okay, fair enough.
when colonists came, for sure they brought smallpox, but I don't actually think that like giving smallpox infected blankets over to as some type of like form of like form of terror. I don't actually think that ever happened.
All right. Uh,
I
that
it's like facts on the ground. I don't actually think they were that smart to do that.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, they'd have to know how it's. They'd have to know about virology and stuff like
like
that.
drum theory and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
germ
they
theory,
just
which is much later in
no,
American history.
like,
A
no,
lot of,
no, yeah,
yeah, a lot of
yeah,
doctors were denying that that was even the case for a long period of time,
literally,
uh,
yeah,
to the point that they were
yeah.
killing people with their denial. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%.
No, 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 no. They were covering their hands with blood before surgery.
Yeah,
At that
like,
point.
exactly. Like it was kind of fucked up time to be a doctor.
And that
Um,
was that was a genius plan.
right.
That
Put some leeches on it and then do some cocaine. You should be feeling better in the
right, right,
morning.
yeah, you have to
Um,
leak on it. Literally. Yeah, yeah.
but
This is
you,
what we were dealing with. You accuse them of being, dude, because literally it's bio warfare at that point. Like you're accusing them of doing bio war. I didn't know about bio war warfare.
yeah,
Uh,
that's interesting. That sounds like a retroactive sort of thing. I mean, there was a spread of the smallpox, and then also, I mean, the thing that's happening is really like
yeah,
nations that get exposed to things that they weren't exposed to, that they don't have a
yeah.
resistance to. It does have a
No,
tendency to
that
spread a lot faster.
definitely not argue. Yeah, yes. No, they did spread germs. They did spread illness. They were vectors of disease. But the smallpox blanket thing is just like I don't know. I just realized that it's like that's actually not true at all.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting. So you were gonna talk about the new series that you're doing, and we have about
yeah.
5 minutes or so before I wrap up this episode. But so it's about it, say the name of the series again.
So okay, it's advice for doing things from I am giving expert advice from somebody who has never done any of the things that I'm talking about doing.
Okay.
Right? So
All right.
that's so my first episode, I'll tell you, is let me pull my list just so I can give you a few highlights. But
This is a very
my first
American concept too, so I love it. You know, you don't
my
have to be good
first
at something to give
episode,
advice on something, now do you?
exactly. Yeah. No, no. It doesn't matter that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You should listen to me.
Yeah,
I
that's exactly. I mean, it's perfect for
feel
YouTube,
yeah,
actually.
you're you're a fucking dumb loser, and I know, and I'm gonna tell you what I
Right,
know.
right.
So,
I mean,
for
that's the whole
example,
manosphere, right? Like, I can't get laid,
yeah,
and I'm gonna make sure that
no,
nobody else does either
so,
with my advice.
like, 'cause this one is really worked out all the way.
Okay, all right.
Um, so there is, if you look at a world map, because I started by looking at maps,
Right.
and then turns out Russia and South Korea have, or no, sorry, Russia and North Korea share a border,
Huh.
and their border is 17 miles long.
Okay.
Sorry, 11 miles long.
Okay.
So it's barely anything. Okay. And then they both have train stations on each side, and then the trains track widths are different.
Aha.
And
Right.
then and by the way, China is within 1 mile of where they cross. Okay.
Okay.
Um, dude, it's chaotic as fuck.
I bet.
And
Do they have to, when they're crossing the
they,
border, they have to unload the entire train and then load it back on something else?
dude, so they built special cars to transfer tracks,
Oh no.
and then they also built this bridge too low for Chinese boats to leave through this river. This river touches Japanese ocean.
Everything's fucked in this
So
situation. I love it.
dude, it's just that everything is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, if it could go wrong, it's going wrong.
Right.
It's a problem everywhere. Uh, And so my first the first video is about how to, because on the this is what I noticed from maps on the border right across, right on Russia's side, just like, I mean, probably, 300 feet from the river separating the countries,
Okay.
um is the Russia Korea Friendship House,
Huh.
which I can't actually find proof of anybody being in the last 4 years.
Huh.
But 5 years ago, I did find proof of somebody being in the Russia Korea Friendship House as a visitor to just see the, it's way more simple because, like, Kim Jong Un has been there once, Putin has been there once. It's much more just of like a symbolic thing than anything.
Okay.
And then, like, that's also how, because, like, North Koreans were fighting for Russia in Ukraine war, and, like, they sent them up through that passage.
Gotcha.
Um, which kind of makes an interesting. Um, but so yeah, like that. I mean, those are some new, I mean, those are some highlights on my new video that I'm going to go with.
Nice.
Because then I found, I like translated some reviews of the Russia Korea Friendship House from Russian to English, and like, I got those, and I don't know, I got a lot of information. I got a I found out about some dude. This is some American that was like, he was like minoring in communications or something, and then he was studying it like some no name school in Europe,
Okay.
and then he was visiting his friend who was a translator in North Korea, and then he just started a North Korean travel agency, and now they have this whole North Korean travel agency, and then so I'm like investigating that, and like, is this reputable? Is this safe? Even like, is this, you know what I mean? Like,
Huh.
yeah, 'cause they'll give you like an Afghanistan. They'll give you like a week in Afghanistan for 4 grand. You know what I mean? So, same travel company. So, but
Right.
they're doing North Korea there.
Huh.
So it's like, what are they doing in North Korea? How do they approve to be in North Korea? What is happening? Because
Huh.
like,
That's
it,
super interesting. Well, guys,
it's
check that
hard
out. Check
to
out Anlesh for the
check out India. I'm trying
for
to analyze on YouTube.
check that
Uh,
out. And Adam,
notification.
thank you for being here with us today. I'm going to wrap up this episode of the Joy of Animating
I'll make
here with Adam Lashak. As you can see, we've gotten some of Luna's taken care of and the scene taken care of for a fair amount.
I
So
like it.
moving right along with all of these, we should be getting close to being able to animate this, and then we'll be wrapping that up. But yeah, Adam, thank you for being here. I am Skip Morazzi, your host and friend here on Behind the Scenes podcast for Cox and Space. Go ahead and check that out,
You're
coxandspace.com. We appreciate it very much, and then you can check out Adam on all of your socials as well. I know that you have the YouTube, and then
Adam will show everywhere. LESHOK. Just search for, and you'll find me.
you will definitely find them. There's not a whole lot of them out there, and then especially if you add stand up, you'll be finding that. So check him out. Thank you again for joining us, and we're gonna be wrapping up this one. We'll see you next time. Bye.